This is BB from clutterclearinglifecoaching.com, and today I want to touch on something that affects a lot of entrepreneurs. They will have a lot of stories of hitting a time in their lives, career, whatever they want to call it. As an entrepreneur, I would call it my lifestyle, where you don't know where the next step starts, meaning that you don't know what to do. You've hit a blank spot, a wall, just a nothingness. Or you have too many choices and you're not sure which one would be the most applicable or appropriate action step to take that's going to get you to the next level. And or you have too little choices. Back to the original, you really don't know what's the next step. What do you do in a situation like that? And if you're an entrepreneur, and if you're in a situation where it's a family decision, like you have to make a decision regarding your family, maybe your kids, your parent, it doesn't matter. You have to make a decision and you really don't know what's the next step. And you're starting to feel like you're just bogged down with it. You're just feeling tired, you're weary, and try as you might, you're coming up with this blank space. Now, this is an area right here that it varies. It depends on your mindset and what you've been feeding into your mind, how to problem solve. This is where it comes in different various forms. One of them is just blankness. You just have a blankness, like I don't know what's the next step. Or I know I could do this, but then that may happen. I know I could do this, and I just don't know. And it's like, it's not an indecision, really. It's not an indecisiveness. It's just like you really don't know what's the next step. You seem to have a little bit of a pocket of resistance. You're not mentally cluttered. You have a blank space, because, like I said, this spot right here, this space that I'm describing, it shows itself in many different emotional backings or emotional standings or thought process. You don't know what's the next step. You literally don't know what's the next step. And the harder you try, or the more you try to put effort into almost forcing the next step to show itself to you or present itself to you, is the blanker, if there's such a word, that space becomes. I like to put humor. It just becomes more of a blank space. And you become really almost like it's becoming a wall that's starting to solidify in front of you of what is the next step. So what do you do in a situation like that, when you really want to move forward but you don't know what the next step is? If you're constructing something and you have a blank space, like, what is the next step? Mostly this has to do a lot with entrepreneurs who are starting a business from scratch, whether entrepreneurs as being online or having a physical storefront where they're selling goods and services. It's like, what is the next step? And there may be hundreds of courses out there, but you still, when it's real life, put in a real life setting, you're still coming up with these blank spaces from time to time of not knowing what to do. So when you want to clear out this wall, you want to tear it down, you want to break it down, you want to bulldoze it, you got to graze it, you want to have that clarity. You want to give yourself choices, not the ones where you seem to have too many, but they all amounted to absolutely nothing. You want to have clear and precise choices, action steps to take, and you want to be mentally clear on it. So what we're going to do is we are going to do the first step is, if you're at home and you have a pen and a piece of paper, write down what you're trying to do, what the goal is, what are you trying to accomplish. And underneath that, write down 3 things that you're afraid of. Well, it's just a blank space. I'm having like this blank moment in my brain. I don't know what's the next step. I thought I did, but I don't know. Write down 3 of them. And just beneath that, write down 3 to 5 or 3 to 100. Really rack your brain now. Well, you're writing now, you're engaging all your 5 senses. And you will come up with things that you could do. And research might be one of them. Things you haven't thought about, your brain will bring out. Because you got to realize we have something called awareness. And it is picking up information 24 hours a day. Well, not quite right. I think it picks up information about 4 hours after you actually fall asleep, and then it just shuts down. And it starts up again like 20 minutes after you wake up. This is why they say manifestation, prayers, anything you're doing, as soon as you wake up, do it within the first 20 minutes after you open your eyes. Because you're still in that space where you can program your mind easily. This is why a lot of people meditate as soon as their eyes open, or say a prayer, or visualize what is it that they want. Because the mind is now waking up, and it will listen to you because it's quiet. So your awareness, you will start to see, getting back to the point of that blank space, you will start to see things come into your existence that you hadn't thought of. Steps that you could take. People who will come into your life who will actually be able to show you, well, this is what they did, this is what you could do. You will see something somewhere, you will hear something somewhere, and it will present itself. So do that, and we're going to do a short round, a basic round of EFT for getting, for knowing what the next step is, when in doubt. So let's go. Karate chop, a startup statement 3 times. Even though I don't know what the next step is, I choose to deeply and completely love and accept myself anyway. The truth is, I really don't know what the next step is. And this is really beginning to bother me. I choose to love and honor myself anyway. Even though I don't know what the next step is. I am just drawing a blank. It's like my mind has gone numb. I don't understand this. I choose to deeply honor, love, and accept who I am in this moment. I don't know what to do. I'm not sure what the next step is. This project I've always wanted to do. But now I seem to be stuck. Now I seem to be wondering what the next step is. What's that about? Why am I floundering? What is wrong here? Instinct is telling me one thing, but reality is telling me something else. What is the next step here? What is the next step here? I really have to figure this out. Take a deep breath. And out. Now, if you're home or anywhere, take a sip of water, take a sip of Gatorade, and make sure that you're hydrated, or anything with electrolytes. If you need my help with any of this, I will put the link to my website in the description, which is clutterclearinglifecoaching.com. That is clearing out the clutter